Hey everyone, you know what time it is? It is citrus season and we're almost there. So today I want to talk about citrus for all the new citrus growers, whether you're growing in the ground or in containers. We in my family's garden have a total of four citrus. We used to have five, but now we have four. Okay. Uh, do you need that many citrus trees? Depending on your space, depending on your preference. When growing citrus, you want to grow citrus in acidic soil because that's where they do best. But you can grow it in alkaline soil, but you're gonna be taking a bigger risk. With growing in containers, you want to make sure that you have a well draining soil, basic acidic. And I'm going to tell you how to have both. Easy way out: when you're growing in containers, you want to make sure that your soil that you purchase a soil that's acidic, or you can go ahead and get the citrus soil from E.B.Stone, or you can go ahead and get cactus mix. Plain and simple as that. Um, or you can make your own acidic soil. Now, if you're growing in the ground, basically you want to focus on a pH of a 4.5 to a 5.5, and you'll need a soil test for that. And I would suggest you do a soil test way before you grow anything in the ground, because you want to see what type of soil you're working with. You want to see what nutrients you may need in that soil. Now, it's up to you on what you want to do. Now, I will say this is that when growing in containers, it's going to be a little bit more expensive because of the cost. Okay. Now, today you're looking at a Aurori Satsuma. Satsumas are basically, I call, the weeping citrus tree because of the weeping effect. Now, that's not the terminology that they gave it, okay? But I like to call it the weeping citrus tree. This is an Aurori Satsuma. I know when my Satsuma flowers in my growing zone, Zone 9B, here in California. Our Satsuma in my location, okay, where I am right now, starts to bud in March, and then it blossoms in like mid to late March, and then it stops, and then all the flowers will drop, and then we'll be left off with some citrus. I hope you can see that. I might have to come a little closer. Maybe I will. Let's try this. Well, you can see that they're green. Okay, you can see a little bit because they're being camouflaged, just a little bit. But right in here is citrus. Okay, now from what I do know is that this Satsuma is sweet, but a little bit tart from in my area, and you can actually boost up the sweetness if you use sulfur molasses, basically. Okay, and so super excited about this or Satsuma because we have fruit, and it looks like we have more fruit than we had last year. So let me show you, and we're gonna walk to one of our other citrus trees here, and that is okay. So right here is the Mario lemon. The Mario lemon is a great lemon to have due to the fact that it's sweet compared to your lesbian lemon, Eureka lemon, and all these different other varieties of lemons that's out there, which I would say in professional kitchens, they prefer this lemon compared to others, which is so, it has so many, there's so many reasons of why. Um, Unlike your other varieties of lemons, this one and the Eureka lemon will bloom mostly throughout the whole year, compared to the other varieties, and it's already starting to bud. So what I'm going to do just to show you guys how it looks, I want to get closer. You can see the bud, and one of my favorite things about the Mario lemon and the Eureka lemon is that it has purple blossoms. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Can you see that right there? That little fuchsia, I believe like a purplish fuchsia color is starting to appear. And then over here, you can see there's a bud there as well. And so on this tree, I believe we have a total of seven my lemons that we will have this winter. So I'm super excited about that. All right, everyone. So I am super excited because right here is the Sanguinella blood orange. One of the things about this orange tree that this year is produced more fruit than it did last year. This was the second citrus tree in our family's garden, and I do want to mention to you all about pruning while I'm right here. When I first was learning to prune citrus, okay, I pruned it almost like a bonsai tree. And so now it's starting to, come back to life. So I like to call this my bonsai blood orange tree. Even though that's not the name of it, it's a sanguinella blood orange. I do want to mention to you all that the only time you want to really prune when you're growing a citrus tree, especially if it's in a 3 gallon or 1 gallon container when it's young, very young, is when it's cross branching like this, something like this in a sense, when the branches are touching. Do not prune the central leader of that tree unless it is damaged. As a matter of fact, don't do that at all. Just leave it alone. Because you got to remember something that citrus is evergreen. They're an evergreen family. They're not deciduous trees where they need an open canopy. That's not how citrus grows. Citrus grows like a shrub, and so you will see it will have a tendency to actually in the bottom of its leaf structure. Okay, you will see a tendency of the leaves sometimes the branches will go drip down like a skirt, like a ball gown. Okay, and so remember that you can actually cut that off, prune it off if you want. Okay, in the lower branching area, but what it's really doing is it is protecting the main bark of the tree. That's what it does. I actually seen a family friend of ours actually have a Meyer lemon for over 30 years that actually is almost shaped like an egg, and it is amazing. Every time I see that tree, I get so flawed by it because it's so elegantly pruned and looks healthy. Speaking of health, let me talk about fertilizer. So, family, it's very important to feed your citrus trees, especially when growing in containers. There is a lot of research out there on about when to fertilize citrus and what's the right measurement. For me, I'm very in between, and the reason why, because I grow in containers. When growing in containers, you have to do a little bit more feeding than usual when growing in the ground. So I suggest you do read the label. Okay, read the label. Okay, on the back of your fertilizer, and follow those directions. But for me, y'all already know how I am. I'm a risk taker, and so I do the opposite. What I do is for my citrus trees here in Zone IMB, I basically from October to December give them like a 1/4 a cup to a half a cup of fertilizer. Now, you see here I have the all-purpose Ivy Organics all-purpose fertilizer. You can also use a citrus and fruit tree fertilizer of your choice. Some will even take that next step and are using Hollytone fertilizer. As long as organic, that's what matters the most. Okay. Now, again, they're fine right now. Um, I want to reiterate this to you though. If you see that your tree is not producing a lot of leaf growth, add a little bit more nitrogen to it along with the fertilizer or a compost. If you don't want to use your fertilizer, make sure you compost your citrus trees heavy because they are hungry. Just like we like to eat, your garden loves to eat too as well. So make sure you stay on top of it. I'm NJ Cali. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you all in the next one.